Hi, welcome to a Let's Play of Gondor Renewed, or King's Gondor. This is the quest line that will start the Umbari expansion. This is my Dwarf Guardian, and I just got through playing Gundabad, so this is the next quest line. And I believe I talked to Glindor, King Ellersal's herald. The king has returned to Gondor, Umbar, and all the kingdom celebrates. And yet he is not content to rest on the laurels of his deserved victory over Sauron. I was instructed to bring you to see him. Will you come with me?
To the Tower of Ithilien we go. Audience with the king and queen.
Okay, he already read that quest text. Alright, so this is after the fall of Sauron.
King Alistar desires to speak with you in the Tower of Ithilien about an important matter.
Oh, this looks very different. So this is Gondor, Minas Tirith restored after the War of the Ring.
There you are.
My friend. I am pleased to see you return.
We accomplished much good in the fight against Mordor and the forces of Sauron. And we prevented the triumph of terrible evil, the War of the Ring, for so I have heard it called in the days since its ending, has left its mark upon us and upon our lands. Our victory came at a great cost, and the losses suffered in the achievement still wound those of us who remain. Perhaps they always will. And yet I can see the hurts of my kingdom. I would do it. It hurts in my kingdom. I would do it. Can I count upon you to help me with this aim? You assure Elisar that you are with him, and he smiles. I knew our minds would be alike in this. Then this is my purpose. I wish to travel my kingdom from town to town, speaking with the people. I wish to hear what it is they lack and to provide it. And I wish to know how the war has injured them and to do what I can to repair those injuries. I want my people to know that their king is with them, not a distant figure in the Tower of Ithilien, but a man who knows them and will strive every day of his life to prove his worthy of Gondor.
But my queen worries for my safety on such a tour.
Well, they are not my worries alone, dear one. The Council has expressed similar concerns.
Is this true? Thalhir, what says my Warden of the Laws?
Talk to Thraldir. I hesitate to mention it, my king, for I understand the majority of your people are all overwhelmed with happiness at both successful conclusion of the war and with your marriage to the queen. I do not wish to spoil the broth of positive sentiments of dwelling upon the inclusion of one or two poor ingredients on those in such a tiny quantity. But there have been whispers of discontent in the city following your happy marriage, my king. Few perhaps, but some. I am sure they will disappear in time, as did those supporters of the withered tree. But as of yet, they remain. I have heard tell from the members of the council that the people in the lower circles of the city speak wistfully of the heirs of Castamere.
The heirs of Castamere? Surely they were all slain during the war.
Aye, to be certain. We witnessed the death of their leader Balachor at Pelargir.
He met his end at the cold blades of the dead.
You know this to be true? Are you certain he had no sons or daughters to take up his cause?
Well,
It's Gimli and
I
Legolas.
suppose I am not certain of that.
My husband so greatly desires to speak with his people and mend the pain of the hurts it suffered, and I fear he will give no thought to his own protection, Brombar. I turn then to you and to those who hold him dear. I ask this of you, Bromvar, of my husband's boon companion, Legolas of Rin Lascalin, and Gimli, the dwarf of Erebor. Where Elisar wishes to venture, I ask that you will travel first, with your ears listening and your eyes sharpened. Look for any signs of the heirs of Castamere. Remain a danger to the kingdom, or to the king. Make a path and the plans to travel secure, as you may.
When these three return with tidings that the heirs are truly defeated, then I will be content for you to travel your kingdom, my husband.
I think such caution is needless, but if this is your will, I shall oppose it not. What say you, my friends?
You will do as my queen requests. I think it will prove unnecessary, but I do not want my bride to worry if it might be prevented, nor do I want my people to wait for the help that I might offer. It is not an easy riddle to solve, Bromborg, but I think I have the answer. The three of you will go ahead of me to visit the towns and the cities of the kingdom, keeping watch for any sign of the heirs of Castamere. When you have determined the heirs of Castamere are no real danger to myself or the kingdom, you will return to me, and I will depart on my own traveling companions to further your work. If this will satisfy my queen and the council, then I suppose I must be content with it. It will be a balm to my spirit to know that you three, at least, will have begun my mission to heal the kingdom of its hurt. Alright. So this is after the War of the Ring, and King Elisar, who was Aragorn, took his throne, married Arwen, the daughter of Elrond. And the cool thing about this quest line is Lord of the Rings Online has followed the books and the epic story. And at this point on, it is kind of following the appendices of the third book, The Return of the King. In the appendices, it talks about how Aragorn went to Umbar and Harad and made peace with all those people. There's a lot of cool things in the appendices, and so Lord of the Rings Online is expanded. So I'm really excited to see the lore that they do involving this, because there's only like a sentence in the book about this whole quest line. So this is Legolas. Another adventure begins, Brombar. Of a sort, it will not take long to learn the heirs of Castamere are truly gone, and when we have done so, Elisar can tour his kingdom. So travel. Also, apparently they renewed Gondor, so when you come through here in like a level 100, it's being besieged by Mordor. And I have a hunter that's just currently playing through that. Wow, the music is crazy loud. Let me turn that down. Okay, talk to Gimli.
Oh, my feet are sore already.
And we have come just to the first of the places Aragorn told us about to visit. His kingdom is larger than it looks on a map, and Legolas and I have already crossed once. Gimli falls silent. I named him Aragorn again, didn't I? We still have so many names as a wizard next, but he has been a trusted companion through many adventures. Is he not the king of any other kingdoms, is he? Well, technically he's the king of Arnor, in the north.
We have come to the south gate of the Ramas Echor.
And I think there's Gondorian settlement in Harad or Umbar. So he's kind of a kingdom. He's kind of a king of a lot of kingdoms. We have come to the south gate of Raman Echor, through which lies the Harlond, the south harbor of Minas Tirith. It was held by orcs of Mordor during the war, and they did not expect the arrival of Elisar aboard the ships of the Corsairs. Legolas smiles. They did not expect Legolas Greenleaf or Gimli son of Gloin either. That much was clear to all. This is a pocket item. We need might for our guardian. That is not really better than what I have. I'll look at that later.
I do not think this expedition of ours will take very long.
Okay. If there are folk here who believe the heirs of Castamere will return, they will soon see the King Elisar holds their fortunes dear and seeks to repair the damage done during the war. They will leave the heirs of Castamere in the past. Let us find someone inside Harlond to the southwest who will tell us how we can help repair the damage done to the South Harbor. Cool. And the map looks pretty much the same. So this is the outer wall of Minas Tirith. There's Minas Tirith right there. That's a cool shot, although it is night. I have a level 105 or 4 hunter right now, and I was playing through Minas Tirith recently. Man, it is such a pain to travel through Minas Tirith. It's really cool. Okay. We want to stick with the chapter quest. I don't want to get bogged down in side quests. So the chapter quests or the book quests are always the main quest, and they do a really good job of taking you from region to region. It's really easy to get stuck on side quests and get bogged down.
That is good.
We turn none away who desire to help cleanse the South Harbor of the filth left behind the orcs of Mordor. The land remembers the scars, but it is up to the people to stitch them up and allow them to heal. Despite many offers of help, there's still plenty to be done. Begin by cleaning up rubble piles. In Harland, earlier today, some folks offered to pick up some loose wooden planks around the port and lean them upright. Okay? There have also been increases in rats here of late. I think they fled the Corsair ships. I need them gone. Will you and your fellows complete the tasks for me? Alright, so we gotta clean up rubble and wood and kill rats. Okay. There's a lot of side quests in here, man. The thing is, too, I stuck quite a long time in Gundabad, and Gundabad is technically level, I think, like 130-ish to 140 in Elder Slate up in the north. And I really played through all of that expansion. And I got up to 144. So I think I'm a little over leveled already. I think right now the current max level is 150. But there's an expansion coming out later this year, and I think is going to raise it to 160. So we are on a Dwarf Guardian. I'm in the Red Line spec, which is the DPS, the Keen Blade. And I have spec'd into all Red Line and basically all Yellow Line. Yellow Line got a rework, and it does a lot of AoE damage and like debuffs and mitigations. So it's really quite interesting. So the Red Guardian's really not in a bad place at all. He's pretty good. Does good DPS, lots of blocks and parries. Very, very tanky. But I have been noticing at my higher level I've been pretty squishy, so I just started getting to the blue line. So I got this Guardian's Pledge shield that really helps me. I can pull like lots of mobs, pop that shield, endure a lot of damage, and then AoE everything down. So this is Harlon. So this would be like the southwest part of the fields of Pelennor. So if you remember in the Return of the King movie, when Aragorn jumps out of the Corsair ship, and the Corsairs are like, you and whose army? And then he says, this army. That's kind of where we're supposed to be. In the harbor. This is a really big harbor. Okay. Kind of reminds me of Dol Amroth. So my plan with this series is just to go through the main quest of the Gondor Renewed, and kind of wherever characters I have, wherever the main story is, just kind of record that story. LOTRO does a really good job of the lore of the storyline, staying like really faithful to Tolkien's Legendarium, but also like adding additional interesting stories that don't like break canon. So I really appreciate that. This being a good example of making an entire expansion, well, a couple entire expansions, on appendices in the Return of the King. That's pretty cool. It really makes you wonder what else they're going to do, because in the appendices there's like Galadriel and Lothlorien. They go back to Dol Guldur, and she breaks down the city of Dol Guldur with her Ring of Power. That could be a storyline. And if you look on the map in Mirkwood, it's not completely filled out, so that could be a possibility down the road. And then there's a storyline where Gimli and Aragorn go back to Fangorn to visit the Ents, and then Gimli, in the appendices, he sets up a dwarven settlement in the Glittering Caves in Helm's Deep. And I think in the appendices it talks about how he became like the wealthiest dwarf in the Fourth Age, but wealth had no hold on him because he just wasn't like a typical dwarf. So there's a lot of really interesting stories that they could fill up with expansions. And of course, it's not in the appendices, but the end of the Return of the King, the Scouring of the Shire, where Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin go back to the Shire, and Saruman ends up taking it over. So there's some really cool things that happen in the book. It's kind of the arc of the Hobbits.
You almost had me believing King Elisar himself would bring these planks to me.
You almost had me believing the King Elisar himself would bring these wooden planks to me. Stranger, I am disappointed to see that is not the case, but you have my thanks for this work. All the same, your friend's work still. Okay, talk to Legolas. Where are you at? In the harbor? The Gondorian architecture is really cool. Oh, there's Gimli. Oh, it's
How goes
Legolas.
the work?
Oh,
Gimli
I
and
skipped
made
that.
ourselves useful.
Bothered by it? Oh, you wound me, Legolas.
I am no delicate crystal, and I give insult better than any other of these cowards. Should the need arise, King Elisar should hope it does not, since we are here on an errand of peace and restoration. But has the elf hearing of which you often boast abandoned you? For I heard that those men speak the name Balakor. It is not a common name that could belong to anyone but the leader of the heirs of Castamere. Approach the small crowd. What crowd are we talking about? And listen.
What do you want? Don't like what you hear, do you?
It doesn't matter to me what you like and what you don't. Gondor changed once, and it can change again. Folk like you might want to watch where you stick your noses. Friend of mine in Arnach heard that the heirs of Castamere are gathering strength and will soon return. Their leader, Bellicor, survived the fighting and slipped away to safety before he could be executed. Such a pity for the upstart king. Now Bellicor plans to overthrow the new king and his foreign bride. It was them and the people like them that brought the war upon us. The land remembers it all. Won't be long before it's a revenge upon them, using Bellicor as the instrument. You insist Bellicor is dead, but Barthorn snorts. That's not my friend, and Arnach says. I think I'll be listening to him and not you. So I think Bellicor was a Corsair that died when we raided... I think I remember that name. The Pelagir. Where's Pelagir? Yeah. This is Pelagir. When you do a scenario where you raise the army of the dead and you attack this harbor, and you deal with all the Corsairs and that was like a level 100.
That went well. Balakor died on the deck of his banner ship, the Night Jewel. We saw him die.
Oh, there you go, yeah. At the hands of the army of the dead, we saw him die. About whom, then, do these rumors speak? Do the heirs of Castamere have a new leader? We should follow these whispers to Arnok. Perhaps we will learn there and begin. Arnok is to the south. Okay, so now we will head to Arnok. It's a CH, so I'm assuming it's a ch sound. That's the other cool thing about the Tolkien legendarium stuff is, like, he was a linguistist. So he was, you know, an expert in languages and stuff, so he developed a lot of his own language. I think we'll swift travel. Another thing I love about Lord of the Rings Online, I'm actually doing free to play right now. So I'm not a subscriber, and you can still play the game at almost the latest content. And this year, in 2025, they did a coupon code. I think it was called Explore My World. And if you typed that coupon code in, it gave you all the expansions to Gundabad, which is a level 140, for free, which is just crazy. Any other MMO I play, it's like you have to pay for something, and then you have to pay for a subscription.
Welcome, my friend, to Arnach. What brings you hither?
But Lord of the Rings Online has a great free-to-play system. You explain that you seek word of the Corsair activity along the coast of Larsenach, and that some of the folk of Gondor believe Bellicor and the heirs of Castamere still threaten the king's peace. I do not doubt that some Corsairs fled into the wild when the fighting turned against them, but their numbers must be quite small, shouldn't they? I will ask around the town to see what I can learn. Perhaps while I do, I will take care of some of the foes that endanger Arnok. Oh, he's talking about himself, I guess. Okay, so we need to defeat beasts and other foes in Arnok throughout Lossernach. Which I guess we need to backtrack a little bit. Okay. So I can't tell if the forts and everything look about the same. The fencings look about the same, but it also looks a little bit better. So I wonder if they upgraded the graphics. Because this looks like a lot crispier. I'm curious to see what kind of ore we have in this expansion, because I think I had and prospecting. Yeah, we had Gundabad ingots in the previous expansion. Crafting is really awesome in Lord of the Rings Online. So I'm a prospector, metalsmith, and tailor. And I believe in one of the later updates, I think it's Legacy of Morgoth, they released an additional tier of crafting called guilds. Now, that may have been around before. Maybe they just updated it to Umbar. I think it was around before, but they upgraded it to Umbari. So when you craft, you have like an initial leveling. So like right here, Umbar, I'm 64 out of 630 for my metalsmith. So I have to level up my metalsmithing. And then once you level up, then you can master level, which is like an additional tier, and you can unlock more recipes and more things. And then on top of that, I just recently figured out how to do the whole guild system, where you have an additional rep for guilds, but it's really beneficial to do all of that because you can craft. I just unlocked in my metalsmithing in the Umbar, I can craft tools Umbari level tools, which is plus 25% crit chance, which is like massive. And I have a store thing right here, which is 20%. This is something you buy in the store. So the crafting system is really, really complex. It's really beneficial. And the thing I really like when I used to play World of Warcraft, and crafting was kind of helpful until like level 60, and then it just kind of, it was always kind of helpful, but you could just completely ignore it. And the thing I really didn't like about the crafting system in a game like World of Warcraft, or to some extent ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, is like you would craft up a tier, and then you would level up, and then your crafting gear would just be like pointless, and it was like, what's the point of that? And that's something an MMO really struggles with, is like, why would you spend a lot of time getting good gear to just out-level it? And what I really like about Lord of the Rings Online is everything feels relevant the whole way through. So tier 1 crafting ingredients at a level 140 can still be helpful, because I can go back and grind like guild reputation. So it's really, really cool. And I guess to prove my point is, as soon as I got to my metalsmithing tier, as soon as I got to Umbari, which is the latest kind of tier and expansion, I was able to unlock forged plates, and it's level 500 item, and everything else I've been getting and just questing is like level 440. So at almost max level, I'm able to craft better gear than anywhere else I've been getting it. That just feels really good. That's a really, really well-designed system. The music is really nice, and they must have updated the soundtrack in this area.
You upheld your side of the bargain. I have done the same.
Well, it seems that there are a few people that have heard that Be'lakor the Scourge survived the fighting at Peligir and escaped into the wilderness. He supposedly made camp to the south of Arnach, in view of the river. If you wish to learn the truth of it, I suggest you begin there and search. Alright, to the south. Alright. I haven't seen any ore deposits, so I'm wondering what tier we are in. Also, another cool thing about crafting in Lord of the Rings Online, it doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like a slog to level up. It's like really enjoyable to both collect ingredients in the world and to... Oh, brilliant skarn deposit. So this is the ore. Let's see. I think that's... Where did that go? Oh, so it is Gundabad. There you go. So we're still in Gundabad tier list. That makes sense. LOTRO will do that, where I think to help people move on to the next tier, like when you start a new area, they'll kind of stick with the same. Discovered a Gulliant. Don't need to be through here, so I'm going to try and avoid this area. Yeah, I'm just running around. I'm not on my war steed. There's a regular mount in Lord of the Rings Online, and there's a war steed in Lord of the Rings Online. The war steed has a lot more health. You can kind of run through camps like that and not get dismounted. But for the life of me, I cannot stand the war steeds. They're so buggy, and they're so hard to control and to stop. Half the time when I'm on a war steed, I just like run off a cliff and die. So, oh, the other thing I really don't like about war steed, you can't collect ingredients while on a war steed. And when you're on a regular mount, you can collect wood and ore while mounted, which saves a lot of time. And on a war state, you have to hop off. At least to my knowledge, you do. Okay, we examine the fire. I guess I should have read that. Examine the boat among the reeds. No longer seaworthy, boat served its former occupant well enough.
This campsite might have belonged to anyone.
Just because it bears the signs of being a Corsair camp, that does not mean it was made by Be'lakor. Anyone could have come ashore here. Do I need to remind you that we saw him die aboard the Night Jewel? He could not escape from the dead, and did not. It beggars belief.
Gimli is right. This camp might have been made by anyone.
Be'lakor did not leave the deck of the Night Jewel alive. But this too can be true, Umbar. It may not matter.
Balakor need not have survived.
It is not possible he may have become in death more a symbol to his people than he could have remained in life. A man can be slain. It is more difficult to fully destroy that for which he stood. What if someone has taken his place, Brombar? What if someone has adopted his name and his appearance in the attempt to rally the heirs of Castamere? We should tell Baranor of this possibility so we can keep watch and guard against it. There's some good gear that these guys are giving us. Oh, see, this is level 470, and the item I crafted is 500, so the item I crafted is even better. Kind of a cool tip, if you hold control and left on your mouse, you can actually see what this would look like on your character. So there's like a built-in sort of dressing room transmog kind of thing in LOTRO. LOTRO has a ton of really, really cool little, I don't know if you call them pro tips, but little things like that. This is by far my favorite MMO. It's the best free-to-play system. It's like an amazing story. There's not like weird bloat. The world is the story, like the world is the character. There's no like rushing to end game. There's no grinding for better gear. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna play. I also like the free-to-play is nice because it's like when you have time you can play. When you're paying like some kind of subscription, it's like, well, you feel like you have to play a lot to make it worth the money. But with a free-to-play, there's very low, low investment. All right, back to Arnok. Wonder how many chapters this will be before it sets us towards... Oh, we got an essence. Because we're in DPS spec, we want critical rating. There are so many, like, systems, there's so many, like, essences, legendary traceries, so many, like, cool things you can add on to. Maybe I'll make a video on all that, but, like, this is my legendary. Look at all the... It's crazy. Look at all the stats. This is my axe. Oh, the other cool thing is when you get a legendary weapon in Mines of Moria, and that's at level 50, and you keep your legendary item literally from level 50 to now, and it keeps leveling up with you. That is an amazingly well done system.
Survive the war?
Was there any truth in the rumors spoken among the people of Arnok? Did Be'lakor survive the war? You recount that to Baranor what you discovered, and what Legolas had to say about the fallen leader, the heirs of Castamere. I, an impostor, could cause trouble for King Elisar and for Gondor, just as easily as Be'lakor himself might have done. We will remain alert for any who appear, and I trust you will do the same as you continue south and westward to the crossing of Erie. There are several small villages beyond the Erie that will foster similar sentiments as though here in Arnak. Good fortune with you. Alright, so now we gotta travel to the crossroads of Erie.